Yeah, pretty comfortable talking about religion. I suppose it just depends on the environment you're in, right? So if you're around other people who are similarly religious, go to church, or have their own form of faith, then definitely loads comfortable. But maybe if I'm in an environment where I don't know if people have a kind of church-going background, or particularly at work, then I probably wouldn't talk about religion quite so much. But generally speaking, I'm pretty comfortable to talk about it.
I am a Buddhist, like my whole family is a Buddhist. I know there's someone out there looking out for me. I don't know if it's some sort of God, I don't know what. But when you're having bad days, you do some sort of praying to something you believe in. And I think the bad days, you might, even if you sit there and just go, like, hopefully tomorrow's a better day. And I know that tomorrow is a new day. I don't know if it's going to be a better day, but I know at least I'll be able to wake up tomorrow to a new day, to maybe a better day. Maybe it could be a bad day, but I might be able to learn something from that bad day.
So I don't actually have any faith. I'm an atheist. So when I was younger, I went to a Church of England school. So my sister was when she was younger went to I think a C of E middle school as well. Back at school we had the 3-tier systems. Rather than primary and secondary, there was a middle school and a high school. But I find faith interesting, and I'm very I'm always happy to talk with people about faith. I mean, I personally find it very interesting, especially the diversity, I guess, of it. From the many different kind of denominations of Christianity to Islam, and through to other religions such as Hinduism and Sikhism.
And I really love my faith. So what is made me, where I come from, which faith I come from. I born from the faith, so I should speak up for. Yeah. Whatever I learned from my parents and my other parents, so that's the thing.
Yeah, throughout my life, I've seen that faith be a real anchor for me. We've been through some really tough and challenging things as a family over the years. So it has been a steady rock in terms of like how I see myself.
A lot of people ask me like what Buddhism is, and that's always been a quite tricky question to me, because sometimes I question what it is, because of, as much as I think regardless in any religion, you take out what you want to take out, and everyone takes out different things. So when people ask me like what Buddhism is, I kind of expect it I always explain it as like finding inner peace. I think that's what I always kind of say to people, like it helps me find my inner peace.
And I think no one has the answers, and the thing is, if that helps you kind of understand the way of the world, then that's something it's a personal decision, and that no one else should decide for you about what you believe in.
Just talking about discrimination is challenging across the board for most people, because I think people tend to get a bit defensive.
I think the most important thing at the minute is teaching kids, because I think no one's born with hating someone else's race or religion. Sometimes it's just what I call Chinese whispers. Like you might get taught something and it might be passed on, but obviously the message changed slightly. And just from the media, for example, like some religions might come off more negative than other religions, and that might just be a representation of the very small minority.
Because it's terrorism, because people think you are Muslim, so maybe you are terrorism. When people see the hijab on you, they treat you like different way. So this is the most thing.
Sometimes I think that people might think that as a Christian that I'm some kind of Bible bashing, gonna lay my hands on them every time I see them and pray over them, or be quoting scripture at them all the time, or that I'm really fundamental in my views, that I kind of have very staunch views about certain social issues. So yeah, that's probably the fear that I have, that people have about if I was to kind of talk about my faith, which is not the case, but yeah, that's the fear.
I've been quite lucky of no one's really ever misunderstood my faith, just because I think when I was younger, like when you're in school, no one really cares about your faith. The only time you might put it down is on a form because you're applying to secondary school or college, and that's the only time. And I think now growing up, like the friends and colleagues I have, when they ask, they're more inquisitive about it, and it's nice because everyone I know and the colleagues I have, my friends, like we're all very open about talking about religion. So even in the last year and a half, I've learned so much about like Muslims and what they practice and what they can and can't do, and just like how they live life, and obviously you learn about it in school, but I think you don't appreciate it when you're younger and you're like, oh, why am I being taught this? I don't understand the point of this, like I don't care. But growing up, it makes you see the bigger picture.
Usually the times that people come to ask questions about faith is when they're facing something challenging in their own life, or something where they're really having to kind of look and question their life, their choices, their circumstances, and so then it will be about big questions like, is there really a purpose to what we're doing? Like, do you find that your faith is fulfilling? Does it give you purpose? Or do you think that you just kind of do it out of routine and habit, and because it's what you've been socialized to do?
Because this country is so many different faiths. So because it's like me, where I came from, which faith I came from, I should respect my faith, but I born from this faith.
I think it's important to kind of educate the younger generation of seeing the bigger picture, from like what I've been able to see, like the biggest picture.
And also I see that the lines between different religious groups are not as stark as we think they are. Like I really recognize and appreciate and respect the similarities in terms of different people's expressions of faith, whether that's my Muslim friends or Hindu friends or even non-believing friends. Like I think there's so much that we can still learn from each other.